Hello and welcome. Today we are welcoming Angèle Cristina, who is a camera confidence coach, and she's come to share her entrepreneurial journey with us. And you may have seen Angèle if you are in the WordPress Happy community, because she's really active in there. She's always coming out with great tips and strategies, and she's always got loads of encouragement. She does a whole load around empowering women as well. So Angèle, can you tell us a little bit about you? Where are you originally from?
Okay, so hi everyone, and thanks Vicky for this opportunity to share my journey. It's been a while since I've shared it, so I'm actually a bit excited because there's a new part that I'm going to be sharing for the first time.
Oh.
But I'm from Malta. I'm from a very tiny island in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. I don't know if people know it. Some people do, some people have no idea. It's quite close to Italy and Sicily, and we're just right there in the center. So I come from a very small community, and the island has around 500,000 people, and that's it. So one of them is myself. I'm a Maltese, by the way. Malteser is to have fun. Maltese. So, and we have our own language as well. So a little bit of history.
That's fabulous. So, okay, so you speak Maltese, you speak English. What else do you speak?
I speak Italian and French and German and now Spanish.
Oh my God.
I'm starting my sixth one. Well, no one speaks Maltese age. I learned Italian from TV actually, because we had the Italian channels before the English ones. So my cartoons were all in Italian. Then at school, I learned French and Italian. Then at university days, I decided to study German, which came handy because my husband is German. So look at that. And now I moved to Spain and I'm starting to learn my Spanish. So yay.
That is awesome. So I love Malta. So I went to Malta twice a few years ago because my husband was serving out there. And we went to Gozo and I loved it. It was just beautiful. So, but do you still live in Malta now?
No, I actually currently live in Malaga, around the Costa del Sol area. So I left Malta, I think now 6-7 years ago. I'm not good in counting. I didn't count before, but something like this. And first I moved to Ireland. So, and we were living in Ireland for 4 years, and we moved now to Spain in April. So that was the move, and very, very excited to be back close to the sea, but not on an island.
Yeah, that's fabulous. How great. What a lovely lifestyle. So, so tell us, I know you've got a really, really interesting story. I know that your background is really fascinating. So tell us a little bit about how your career started out and how you kind of transitioned into what you're doing now.
So I come from a theatrical family. So my grandmother was a very, very popular actress in Malta. She was really, really huge. So I was always, let's say, in her shadow, but in a positive way. My mother is an actress as well. So I was always used to being on stage, in the spotlight. I absolutely love it. I was a drama teacher. When I went to university, I studied theater, and I was a drama teacher after that for about 8 years full time, but used to do it before. And when I was still at university, teaching the little young children in theater schools and drama schools. And there was a point in my life, 8 years teaching down the line, where I was like, you know what, actually, I would like to do something more. So an opportunity came to be a TV presenter, and I auditioned and I was chosen. And even just relating that brings me back all the emotions, because it was a dream come true. I loved the experience. I co-hosted a daily chat show, which ran every day on national TV for 9 months. So it was a daily, Monday to Friday, the whole 9 months from September to June, or October to June. And it was a really beautiful experience that I gathered, and that was still in Malta. So a bit of acting as well, TV series and things like this. So let's say I was a bit known in Malta, which was lovely. However, I felt I needed some space. But that was the base of me and my career, I guess, before being an entrepreneur.
That's so exciting, isn't it? It's like, you know, every day. Was it not exhausting? Was it tiring on that kind of filming schedule?
Yes, it was very, very tiring. You think it's all beautiful, and when you see someone like, I follow Ellen DeGeneres, for example, religiously and every day, because that's an aim of mine, is to have a talk show host, to be a talk show host and have my own program. on that kind of style, but it's very, very exhausting. And what you don't realize is, since every day you have different guests, on my end, I needed to do a lot of research, which people don't realize. But if I'm going to have a doctor speaking about dental crowns, or if I'm going to have a midwife speaking about something, it's not exactly my area that I know how to speak at the top of my head. So I need to do research the night before, or the day that the guest is locked in, which unfortunately was quite late in the day. Sometimes it was even confirmed in the morning, and then on the way to the studios I used to do research. So that was a bit stressful. However, the amount of knowledge that you really manage to gain, because you meet so many people from so many different areas. We had a chef every day, so I learned, tips and tricks. And then there were fashion people, and interior design, and the medical team, and the social team, and addressing different social topics, and music and entertainment. So there was a topic for every day of the week. So it was exciting. I think one of the most stressful things, which might come across a bit as funny to the viewers, is the stressful thing was to pick my outfit every day. So I had a sponsor who used to provide it, which I was totally lucky and blessed. But this particular sponsor did not want me to keep the clothes. So I daily had to go to their boutique and take the next one. And obviously there were 5 programs. So I needed to go on Friday evening to take the Monday one, and then Monday return the Monday, and do that every day.
Wow.
That was a bit stressful, I have to be honest with you, because the boutique was in a location in Malta, which is very touristic. And I never found parking, and it took over an hour just to go in and change outfit, and it was like extra. But obviously, I am very grateful of them being my sponsors. But as a whole experience, it was so amazing, and this is why I roped it in what I do now. But let's put that aside for now. So yes, stressful, but very, very, very. I think I realized how much I love to talk, and I never thought talking is a good thing. So I think that's where one of the light bulb moments started.
Yeah. Okay. So then how did you then transition into what you're doing now? Was there something that happened in between when you left the show to doing what you're doing now? Or was it like a natural progression?
Not natural at all. It was actually quite from a back against the wall moment. So actually, after the show finished for the first run, I had to do the second year, but it didn't happen because the producer wanted to present herself. So I went actually back to, I was working in events, then I went back to teaching for another year, and then we started looking into moving abroad or working abroad. My fiance at the time, husband now, got an opportunity to work in Ireland, and we're like, okay, let's get out. So I moved from Malta to Ireland for the first time living anywhere else besides Malta. And over there, I first started working in a call center, which I hated, but I had to do it because we had planned to get married and I needed some cash coming in. And it didn't last for much long because I could not be one of many. I crave the spotlight. So for me, sitting there amongst 500 other people was like, no, it wasn't lighting up my soul at all. And I actually went to a drama school. I found a drama school and I was working part-time with them, and that suited me quite fine because it's something I used to do before, so why not do it again? Got married in the meantime, came back from honeymoon. But actually, before I went from honeymoon, 2 days after I got married, I started exploring having fun with my hair color. So I got married with my natural hair color, and then 2 days after, went to the salon and said, let's have some fun. And for the first time, I had turquoise teal hair, which I loved. I was like, why didn't I do this before? And I just had fun, went on honeymoon, came back, and the drama school had a problem with my hair and asked me to choose my hair or the job.
No.
And yes, so that was a crossroad for me, which was very unpleasant because I was a drama teacher. I was teaching kids from 3 to 5. I thought it's going to be exciting. But I realized it's not only not worth changing who I am for twice a week. I discovered a new joyful thing that brings me joy to. It just was like an extension of me. I don't know. I think you know me a bit and you understand that colored hair is who I am. And I think now without it, I'd be weird. But at that point, I made a decision, and this is maybe something I'd like to share with the audience, because I could have chosen to stay in the box and conform and be like, you know what, actually, let me just be normal again. Not that there's anything wrong with having normal colored hair. It was just something new that I discovered that I didn't want to give up on. And I sat with my husband and I said, okay, this is happening. What do we do? I refused to change my hair color. So I was unemployed for a couple of months, maybe close to a year then eventually. And I started looking at who is famous and successful and has colored hair. I literally Googled that. I literally went on Google and wrote this. And this name, Kimra Luna, came on Google. And at the time she had blue hair. And eventually I actually interviewed her as well. So that was spectacular. And I saw that this lady is making it big in the online world. And I was like, that's really interesting. Started looking into it, started, discovering and clicking on other coaches' pages. I had no idea what coaching is at that time. Coming from Malta, from teaching, it was quite a closed box, I have to say. And obviously, as Facebook runs, anything you're interested in, you start seeing ads.
Yeah.
And I got into a mastermind and I got into, a trail of things. Eventually I got coached and I realized I can do it myself. And when I decided what I'm going to do for my business, I said, I want to bring two things that I absolutely love to do. One is helping people, but mostly women, to become the best version of themselves. And I like to call it to be wow, to reach their full potential, but also the camera confidence skills that I luckily enough learned while being on set every day in a studio for 9 months. And I put this together and I created Wondrous Online Women.
Brilliant. What a great journey. And yeah, I have no idea. Utterly scandalous that they kicked you out because of your hair color. I mean, it's just, you've probably taken them to a tribunal, but it's what a disgrace. That was in Ireland, was it?
Yes, it was in Ireland, and it was very sad because I thought, obviously coming from Malta, and we're such a small island and such a small country, I thought, in Ireland, they must be open-minded. And I think the employer herself thought, it was a private company, and she thought she's going to lose clients. I thought otherwise. So we had there a big misunderstanding, because for me, I couldn't hide. I couldn't wear hats all the time and be myself. Like I never can do that at that point. I didn't want to do that, But I'm very grateful that she let me go, because this would not have started. So to be fair, thank you, employer, for not wanting me with colored hair, because now actually having colored hair is part of my brand.
Yeah.
So I kept it, I stuck to it, and it's part of who I am now.
Yeah, fabulous. I saw your interview with Kimra Luna, actually. So that's exciting that you managed to hop in with that. That's brilliant. So did you approach her with that kind of mutual connection of, okay, you've got colored hair, I've got colored hair, let's just get this gig going, all right?
Not at all. So as I mentioned, I was trying to be part of groups to try to see what I can be doing out there. And she's she was, I'm not sure, very active in her group at the time. This was around 2.5 years ago I'm talking about. And she always replies, or if you comment, she replies. And I remember I was having this, one of these days where I was really angry at this past employer letting me go, but really excited to do something. And at the time, I remember I was being coached, and my coach wasn't the best person I could have in my life. However, she challenged me. And it was on the terms of, you'll never get her. No, she's too popular for you, or something like this, which sometimes is what a person like me needs to say, right, okay, challenge accepted. And there was a conversation on her thread on that day. And I just threw it in there and I said, would you like to be interviewed? And she said, yes. And then I private messaged, literally, my eyes were like, literally, it was so easy. And then I private messaged and she said, it's actually a really good time for me. I need to get out there because of A, B, C, D. And I told her a little bit about my connection with the colored hair. And she's like, this is ridiculous. I need to do this, etc. And it happened. And it was, I still remember, and even remembering gets me speechless, how easy it was. And this is something I truly believe, that if something comes easy to you without pushing it, then it's for you. Absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, Kimra Luna was in the bag. Well, actually, I think she's one of the first interviewers ever. One of the first people who I interviewed online. So started with a bang.
Yeah, woohoo, that's brilliant. So now what exactly are the services that you offer? So you offer camera confidence mainly, and this empowerment of women to just be who they want to be and be the best version of themselves, right?
Absolutely. So I like calling it the shop window. So camera confidence is something everyone understands, everyone relates to. You're either confident or you're not confident in front of camera. Very simple. It's easy for someone to say, oh, okay, this is what she does. So most women come to me with like, I'm not confident in front of camera. I need help to be able to look at the camera. I always need to have a script. What I don't want to be in front of a photograph, a camera, let alone, a video camera. So we start from there. However, the people who choose to work with me for longer are the people who realize that their fear of being in front of camera has nothing to do with being in front of camera. So most of the times, the fear comes from something more deeply rooted, from something that happened between ages of young till maybe 8, maybe 3 to 8 years old. And what I absolutely passionately love to do is go there, unpick it, unravel it, see what it's been hiding, check out the opportunities that would be missed if you continue choosing to be and get stuck there, realize that magic happens outside the comfort zone, and then push them a tiny bit every single session, so that by the end, they don't only love doing videos, but they discover that they can do this and take the world with their gift. So it's like they come into the shop and then, okay. And that's why the word wow really explains who I am and what I do.
Yeah, it's a brilliant acronym. So tell people what WOW actually stands for as well.
Yes. So at the time when I came up with the name for the business, the film from Wonder Woman had just come out, the new one. And I don't know about you, but I was quite obsessed when I was young. It was one of the few female superheroes in the 80s or early 90s. And, and her like this and turning and becoming someone else. I was always fascinated. And the new film had just come out. So this word wonder, wondrous and stuff like this was quite a buzzword at the time. So I was sitting one day saying like, okay, wonder and online, something online, and obviously women. And I was like, okay, it's going to spell wow, but it's going to stand for wondrous, because all of us have wonder, online women.
Love it.
And this is what it is. And it's such a catchword that now I use also in phrases like be the wow version of yourself and always be wow. And because wow is a high standard of who we can be. Yeah. So I use it like that as well. And it's fun. It's all fun.
Yeah, it's fabulous. Yeah, you do have a really fun brand. It's brilliant. So tell us where people can find out more about you online.
Okay, so mostly I'm active on Facebook, because most people who have challenges with camera confidence are around Facebook for me. So that will be the Facebook page, Wondrous Online Women. And Wondrous is without an E. It's written the English style, not the American style, because I come from Malta and it was a British colony, but that's a different story. So it's Wondrous Online Women on Facebook, also Wondrous Online Women on Instagram, and wondrousonlinewomen.com as my website. So I kept it very simple so that you don't get confused. However, if you'd like to find my name, Angèle Cristina, there's only one of me, and then you can also find the page for my business through my profile. So you could choose to do that as well.
Perfect. So before we go, I have one last question that I'm asking everybody. And if you had one book that you would recommend, it doesn't need to be a business related book. It could be like a novel that you've read that you love, something that really had an impact on you. What would it be?
I always mention this book, and if you've never experienced it, it actually is business related, because it had such an impact on me that I love sharing it with everyone. And it's the book called Get Rich Lucky Bitch by Denise Duffield Thomas. And I actually get shivers whilst I mention this. This book changed my life, and I'm not even close to joking. I came from such a small, closed mentality about money mindset that I had no idea how easily money could come to you, how money is energy, and how you attract money or you don't attract money, and you attract the same clients. It was a myth, not a myth for me, but I had never explored it. So this book was, again, the tip of the iceberg of me discovering so much about business, even though you think it has nothing to do with it. However, making money obviously is part of the business. I never studied business studies or anything at all. I had accounts at school, but I actually hated it. So Get Rich Lucky Bitch by Denise Duffield Thomas was the tip of the iceberg for me to start unraveling my money stories, my money beliefs, how and why I was stuck in the beginning of my business with my money stories. And then eventually it got me digging more and more interested into how money works, and money and energy now. And I also have a little online course about money. So it was really interesting for me to get me out of the rut of thinking I need to work hard for my money, as I was taught growing up, especially coming from Malta. So I really recommend that if you are struggling in this area.
That's a great recommendation. So I've followed her for a long time, but I've never actually read her book. So I must get it. Maybe I'll download it onto my Audible or something. So
it's really nice. And what I love about the book is that how she writes, or if you hear her, she writes like she speaks. So it's very casual, and I feel she feels my vibe, or I feel her vibe. So it's really nice that whilst you're reading, you're actually imagining her, especially if you've ever heard a video, her tone of voice. You can imagine her gesticulating with her arms. And it's a very, very relatable book. It's not, woo-woo at all. She brings it very real, mentions a lot of tips that you can do in the book. Obviously, she has boot camps and other things, but the book is, I think, around a tenner. So affordable by many, many people. And a really nice book to start, kick off, or if you have an idea to start a business, have a look at it. Or even if you're already soaring, I think it's really, really relatable.
Yeah, fabulous. Great recommendation. Well, it's just been lovely to speak to you, because actually, although we've been connected for a long time and we kind of dip in and out of conversations, we've never had a proper conversation like this. We very nearly got together in Cambridge recently, didn't we? And we didn't quite match.
Yes, it was close.
No.
It was quite close.
Next time.
So let me know if you're going to be around, because I'm going to actually again mid-December. So I like visiting. I have a friend there. So maybe we could have a private chat. And if anyone is around Cambridge and watching this, drop us a message. It would be nice. But hopefully we physically meet soon. But thank you for today. I really, really appreciate your time.
That's fabulous. It's lovely to speak to you. Thank you for sharing your time with us and for sharing your journey, because it's getting a bit more about how you can work together. Thank you so much, Angèle.
Thank you so much. Thank you, and have a nice day, everyone. Bye.
Bye for now.